Hello everybody and welcome to Let's Play WMMA3. This is episode 2. I'm not a wrestler, and we are playing as XCC, and we're approaching our second show, XCC2, Ziskie versus Nunes. And so, let's just look at the card. Philip Ziskie versus Azor Portela Nunes for our main event, and that's for the Featherweight Championship. And our co-main event, James Busfield versus Sammy Gaffigan, also in the featherweight division, and 2 lightweight bouts for the undercard and a women's bout. Should be a good show. I think we'll go ahead and add another event while we're at it. 5 matches on this card, or an XCC2, excuse me. XCC3, and that will be a normal event. And Saturday. When is this scheduled? Not sure if it says. I'm pretty sure it's scheduled for week 4 February, so we'll do week 4 March. Oh, let me check. Actually, no, I'll just do it. Oh well. Saturday, week 4 March. And there we go. And I think for our main event we'll have the women's championship on the line. So where's our champ? Here she is, and she'll take on her number 1 contender, which is Sarah Vaughan. That's for the women's title. And we'll do medium, because I'm really not sure if the hype level cost money, like if the higher hype levels cost more money. So if you do know that, then I'd appreciate it if you leave that in the comments, because I'm really not sure. But that's the main event. And for the co-main event, I think we'll have let's see, Darren Southall and Ross Smith. Let's see how they match up. Oh, Ross Smith cannot. He's for some reason unavailable. I'm not sure if he was in our past event. We'll do these two, and we'll compare them. And really not sure. Could be a good match. They're both 4-0. As far as skills, I'd say somewhat even. Strong in one field, average in the other. They're both kind of back and forth. The advantage will probably go to Southall, or Southall, however you say it. And that could come main event, they say, so I'll give it to them. And do a featherweight bout. Our rankings: Scorching Schuler Eigenberg and James Buster Busfield. If we can do that. Which I guess James is unavailable, so we will keep this guy in, but where's Harvey Ripa? Okay. Oops. And they think that's a worthy main event. I'm trying to do undercard bouts, but it seems everything's a worthy main event or co-main event, which might be something related to the size of the company, I'm not sure. I think this would be dead even, and I'm just going to do it for the undercard just because and we'll do another women's bout. I think Helen Fox is already in a match. Let me see. No, she's available, but we will do Christine Jameson and Sonia Charlton, which we can't do. So we'll do perhaps Daniela. So those two, and that will be a decent undercard bout, which is what we're aiming for. And perhaps these two in the lightweight. What do we have now? We have a lightweight and a featherweight, and our main event is the women's. And we'll do this one, and we'll bump it up. And so the main event and the co-main event for XCC3 both have medium hype, I think it was, and McLean versus Vaughan, and that's renamed. And so our next show is on week 3, or excuse me, Sunday, week 3, February 1998. And there is an Alpha 1 show on the same day, but nonetheless we will sim to that. Sunday, week 3, February. Week 3, February. 3 weeks and 6 days, so that will likely sim pretty fast. And while you're at it, if you haven't, well, the Sims, if you haven't checked out my other videos, for instance, the start of my Rookie to Legend on Wrestling Spirit 3, then you can check that out on my channel, and also episode 1 of this WMMA series, and our multi-advance has just been stopped, as there are items awaiting our attention. I think this might be the contract negotiations, which it is. And I'd like to sign to 6 fights and propose that, but maybe she doesn't want that many fights. They always seem to want at least 30 months, and more money. Yeah. Ivan Bakhor, which is my personal favorite name-wise. He has let it be known that he would be looking for a figure of around $13.80 for his base pay if he were to sign an exclusive deal. And we didn't even have to do anything with him. And so our multi-advance will probably be stopped again, but going to sim as far as we can anyway. And it was stopped 2 days after starting the sim. And our contract negotiations with Jackson Gray, and he wants $1,800. Let's propose that. And he wants a longer deal, 30 months, and that's agreed upon. And so now we can finally simulate all the way, unless something comes up, which is probable. Once again, this shouldn't take very long. I would recommend skipping ahead to whatever time that this ends, that this simulation ends. I will put that in an annotation at the bottom of this video at this time, just to tell you when this ends and the event actually starts, so you can simulate up to that. Excuse me, skip forward up to that. Simulate, well. But I am fond of the load times for this game. It's pretty quick. And then there's the booking reminder. But here we go. Well, Alpha 1 announced some matches. Let's just look at that. So there's that if you're interested. And here we go. We'll skip the intro. Moving on to the next match, in which Nicola Taylor will take on Layla Holmes in the XCC Women's Division. And round 1 begins. A left jab misses and Holmes counters with a crisp left-hand punch. There's a stalemate as both fighters throw strikes, but neither scores. Tyler uses head movement to dodge a punch, then strikes back with a solid punch. Tyler tries for a left jab, but Holmes uses head movement to avoid it. Tyler circles away, creating some distance between them. Holmes comes in closer, looking to wrestle with Tyler. They start grappling. Tyler looks happy to engage Holmes at close quarters. Tyler tries to wrestle Holmes backward and up against the cage. Holmes doesn't let herself be driven back, though, and gets out of the grapple. Holmes counters a wayward left jab with a nice jab. We pass the halfway mark of this round. Holmes uses a flurry of lefts and rights to get Tyler to cover up, then shoots in looking for a takedown. Holmes can't get past the sprawl of Tyler and finds herself pushed face down to the ground. Holmes doesn't let Tyler roll her onto her back. Tyler tries to roll Holmes and gets a side mount but can't do it. Tyler finds her efforts to roll the turtled Holmes over and secure side control fruitless. Man, this is kind of tiring reading all this out, so I think I'll just slowly next it. The time is up, and that's the end of round 1. I'd say that was definitely 10-9 in the favor of Tyler, which is the lady on the left. And here we go, round 2. And Holmes going for a takedown, but nope. And round 2 is brought to an end as time runs out. And that would be 10-9 in the favor of Holmes, so looks like 1 round each. And that takedown attempt was avoided. And it looks like this may go to a unanimous decision as we approach under 60 seconds. And so that goes to a unanimous decision, and the commentator for whatever this is says Holmes got it 10-9. Judges' scores are now being announced. All 3 judges give a score of 29-28. Layla Holmes wins by unanimous decision, and that makes her 4-0. And as for Nicola Taylor, 2-1. So Layla Holmes remains undefeated. And Layla Holmes defeats Nicola Taylor, unanimous decision after round 3. The match was rated as being poor, which was kind of surprising. It seems this game kind of judges fights based on knockouts, submissions. They really like that, it seems. And we have Kyle Segal, 3-0, versus also 3-0 Ross Smith. And this is in the lightweight division. So Segal just took down Smith, and one minute remaining in the round, and Smith is still on his back. Submission attempt Oh, he pulls free, and right before the round ends, Smith got out of that armbar, and it looks like that's going to Seagal 10-9. And the start of round 2, takedown attempt from Smith, and it's avoided. Takedown attempt with 12 seconds left, and he takes him down, but there is no time left. And so the round ends, and that is 10-9 Smith, and I think that would be 1 round each as we enter the 3rd round. My guess would be that this will be a bit higher rated fight, perhaps average, and we're under 30 seconds, and that's the end of the fight. Incredibly close round, but Seagal came out just ahead on my scorecard, and the official scores are being reported now. Judge number 1, 29-28 Seagal. Judge number 2, 30-27 Smith. Judge number 3 has scored at 29-28 Smith. Ross Smith wins by split decision. And despite it being split decision, the match was rated as being very poor, which I don't know a lot about MMA, but I think that's kind of strange. Nonetheless, next, the Diamondback Corey Brewer, who is 7-2, takes on straight edge Kenny Magleton, who is 7-3 in the lightweight division. And the XCC management clearly have plans for Magleton and will be looking for nothing less than a victory. This is because we hyped him up, or I hyped him up, sorry. And there's the opening bell. Takedown real early, but it's broken up. And there's the submission attempt already. And that's the submission. And Brewer gets flattened out with the rear naked choke he has to tap. And Kenny Magleton takes the victory by way of submission. Straight edge Kenny Magleton is the winner. And the match was rated as being great. The co-main event is up next. James Buster Busfield will battle Sammy the Stealth Shark Gaffigan in the XCC featherweight division. With expectations of an exciting match behind it, it'll be interesting to see if this bout can live up to the hype. And there's the opening bell. Big strike, and almost goes down. And round 1 ends, Gaffigan 10-9. And by the way, this is against James Busfield, who is 7-3, and Sammy Gaffigan, who is currently 10-1. And the 10-1 Sammy Gaffigan gets that round 10-9. And round 2 begins. Thudding right hook to the body. A left jab misses. Gaffigan counters with a counter right that knocks Busfield out cold. And there is the knockout victory for Sammy Gaffigan, who is now 11-1. And that match was was rated as being great. And Sammy the Stealth Shark Gaffigan defeats James Buster Busfield with a knockout punch in 3 minutes and 23 seconds of round 2. And James Busfield now 7-4, and Sammy Gaffigan 11-1 in his professional career. And we move on to the main event of the evening. Philip Kid Ziskie takes on the Tropical Tornado, Azor Portela Nunes, in the XCC featherweight division. And this is for the featherweight championship. Philippe Ziskie, the current reigning featherweight champion. He is 17-1-1, only one defeat on his record, and the Tropical Tornado, Azor Nunes, 21-3. Philippe is 26. Azor has the age advantage. He's 28. Philippe, 5'7". Nunes also has the height advantage, standing at 6 foot. And there's some pressure on Ziskie, as XCC has been keen to talk him up in the build-up to this fight. And round one begins. Oh, and Ziskie slips past the left jab and counters with a barrage of hard left hands, enough to put Nunes down, and there's the knockdown, but Ziskie doesn't have time to capitalize, though, and Nunes recovers his wits quickly with 16 seconds left in the round. And Ziskie leaps over, looking to drop a flying punch, but the round ends as he goes for the flying punch, and wow. And that's 10-9 to the champ, Ziskie. For round one, and round two is now underway. Once again, this is 5-minute rounds, as this is for the featherweight championship. And Nunes darts in, feints a jab, darts back out. And Ziskie moves in quickly after a wayward punch and hits a straight left that connects right on the jaw, knocking Nunes down. And Ziskie senses victory and starts to unload with punches. Ziskie pounds away at Nunes, landing several great shots that threaten to knock him out. The referee is forced to jump in and stop the match. Philip Ziskie takes the victory by way of TKO. Official result, Philip Kid Ziskie defeats the Tropical Tornado, Azor Portela Nunes, via TKO strikes in 106 of round 2. The match was rated as being decent, and that is the official result. Philip Ziskie, I believe that's defense number 2 of his featherweight championship. He retains that. Our fight of the night, Sammy Gaffigan versus James Busfield, and our KO of the night also in that bout. That goes to Sammy Gaffigan. And the submission of the night, Kenny Magleton, who beat Corey Brewer and is now 8-3. And our champ, Philip Ziskie, now 18-1, as Azor Nunes tastes defeat via TKO, and he is now 21-4. And everybody who got the fight of the night, KO of the night, submission of the night, a $250 bonus, and the critical rating was decent, and commercial rating was great, as we drew 173 people for a gate of 4,325. I think we may be in losing money, and I'll check that. Finance. Yeah, we're losing a steady $15,000 a month right now. I'm really not sure what to do about that, but we are gaining about $10 extra in sponsorship every month, which of course is always good. I'll simulate to Monday just to see our finances for this month. The full finances, that is. We'll probably have some contract negotiations before this episode ends. Nope, James Busfield has a match request. With the Sammy Gaffigan loss in mind, how about a bout with Azor Nunes, which is the person who fell victim to our featherweight champ. So I will write that down. And Sammy Gaffigan versus Azor Portela Nunes, and that could be in 2 months' time, game time that is. And once again, we'll check our finances here. We got $17.29 in merchandise. Let's see. we're still losing money. We have $462,000 left. If we can get a pay-per-view deal, TV deal, anything really, where is it? Then that will really help us out. TV stations. No, maximum size small, or maximum size very small. Range includes America. And we'll try to start a new show with National Pride TV. But they're against MMA, so that may be perhaps impossible. So we'll try with Sports America just because, but we can only have one request. So after that we'll do Pop Network and Sports America. We'll make attempts at least. Also look towards some pay-per-view carriers. Range includes America. And we have Public Access Select and request negotiations with them. And request negotiations, I don't even know, with American Option and Public Access Select, and we'll look at the decisions. So, as in this episode, we have 3 pending decisions. We're attempting negotiations for a new TV show with National Pride TV, pay-per-view negotiations with Public Access Select, which is a tiny carrier that does US and Canada, and pay-per-view negotiations with American Option. And so on that note, I will end this video. I'm not a wrestler, and thank you for watching. Be sure to check out the other videos on the channel. Not much else to say. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, like, comment, rate, subscribe. I'd love to hear your feedback, constructive criticism, all that stuff. Once again, thank you for watching.